Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We're talking about 2019's WWE FASTLANE pay-per-view. To me, honestly, FASTLANE has never really grabbed my attention. I do know that off the top of my head, Triple H versus Dean Ambrose was a really good feud, which led to a really good match. But I don't think anybody really sees anything going down at Fastlane that is either going to be make or break to WrestleMania 35, other than something that's just, a lock that it's pretty much what's going to happen. Maybe a title changes hands here or there, which maybe sets up a different match that you think's going to happen at WrestleMania 35. But nothing is going to happen at WrestleMania 35 that's going to make or break anybody's trip to WrestleMania, that they go or that they don't go. I can honestly tell you that one of the biggest mysteries that we will look back upon out of 2019 is going to be happening at Fastlane this year. Coming out of the Elimination Chamber, Daniel Bryan was going to be putting up a WWE Championship against Kofi Kingston at the Fastlane pay-per-view. And then, out of the middle of nowhere, a week later, Vince McMahon walks out on SmackDown and basically says, "Hey, Kofi, you're not getting that match that we've been saying that's going to happen for the last week. You're out." And Kevin Owens is making his return to SmackDown, and he is going to be replacing you in the championship match, making Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens the WWE Championship match at Fastlane. Kofi had a really good couple of weeks leading up to the Elimination Chamber where he was a replacement, and took Daniel Bryan to the end of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view where Daniel Bryan was able to prevail. Kofi Kingston in the weeks leading up to the Elimination Chamber, as well as the SmackDown after the Chamber, was able to pull out a victory twice over Daniel Bryan in the ring. Kofi Kingston was sort of looked at as I don't want to say turn back the clock, because Kofi isn't that old. But it makes you really think about how long Kofi Kingston's really been on the main roster in WWE, and maybe, the last, I guess you can say 4 years, that we've been seeing the New Day run around. Maybe Kofi hasn't been able to show his stuff, the way that he was able to do in his singles career. I do remember at one point, Kofi Kingston was in the Money in the Bank match, and then Big E Langston and Xavier Woods wrestled for the tag championships, and I thought that was the way that the New Day was going to be going, but I don't think we've ever seen the New Day wrestle in two separate matches on a pay-per-view card, unless maybe it's been on Raw or SmackDown along the way. It's just, they've always sort of been in, where one is, the other two is going to be, kind of deal. So, a lot of people think that Kofi Kingston is a lock for the winner of this match at WrestleMania. To me, honestly, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you pull him from Fastlane, but you honestly think that he's going to be a main event guy to wrestle for the championship at WrestleMania 35. Either way, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, Kevin Owens versus Kofi Kingston. Let's even throw all three of them in there if you just think that, WrestleMania is just going to be a pay-per-view of three ways. Bryan versus Owens versus Kofi. None of those matches really seem like WrestleMania caliber matches. I know that every once in a while there's a WrestleMania that just sort of falls flat. It just happens to be that's the way they booked it. I can honestly tell you that, Charlotte versus Becky versus Ronda, Batista versus Triple H. Those are matches that I really care about. Maybe even Rollins versus Brock to see what the hell they're going to do. Maybe if they end up doing Ambrose versus Roman, that's something that, I'd want to see at WrestleMania. But no matter what comes out of this match, it just doesn't really seem like WrestleMania caliber. In my mind, I think the one thing that makes the most sense would be Daniel Bryan to beat Kevin Owens at Fastlane, and then go in the direction of Daniel Bryan versus Kofi at WrestleMania. It seems to, give Kofi that boost of confidence, and I don't really think that WWE would really slam the door on somebody that hard. I can't even think why they would have done this other than maybe trying to keep Kevin Owens' return a secret. But all you had to do was not name a contender for the title and then just put New Day into a new feud, and everything would have been fine. So as of right now, I'm picking Bryan to win this. I wouldn't be surprised if Owens wins it. But then again, I really see Daniel Bryan as the champion going into WrestleMania. So we'll have to see.